Well, it is day 35. Kind of verified it, but I'm not feeling today. It's April 7th. It's a Sunday, and today's hike is 13.4 miles. My issue is I'm currently at 1,800 feet. My campsite is at 5,000. So for the next 13 miles, it is an uphill fight. So you'll see how it goes. Another sunny day. Supposed to be get up to 70 day, so which means it's going to be a beautiful day. Eventually I'll start shedding some clothes. Right now it's 33 and a little chilly. My fingertips are cold, so I'm wearing my gloves. But I'm on my way out of Uncle Johnny's, and this is what I'm currently looking at. But it'll be a heart rate monitor today, so let's get it pumping. Okay, even though coming out of Uncle Johnny's is such a big climb to the top of the next spot, they did put in these nice little bridges to go over these nice little streams. Only a couple miles in, I already hate the uphill climb, but I guess it's all part of the journey and the experience. But fucking of course. Well, that's Irwin, where we just left. I'm about 5.5 miles on the outskirts, headed north out of Uncle Johnny's hostel. But that's what it looks like on the trail at 3,400 feet on the outskirts. But I'm still 8 miles away from where I need to be, so I'm not going to spend much time video recording the place I've been and trying to get to someplace else. That's kind of what my view looks like. The sun is shining, but it seems like the trail just keeps us on the shadow side of the world. We're in the shadows, so it's still chilly. Hopefully around the halfway mark I'll be able to take some outer layers off, but later. Climbing up to a spot called Beauty Spot, I think in Tennessee, but gotta get to 4,300 feet before I'm there. This is the view I'm looking at currently. Sorry I'm panting because it's uphill. 800-foot elevation gain over 2.5 miles. But it is a nice looking view. Not sure if that's the river going into Irwin or not. Down there. Then you can see the power line cut through the woods. But let's continue to the top and see what Beauty Spot's all about. Finally, a view to enjoy.
Of course you have bars. Nasty kind bar. Ugh. I don't think I could ever eat another kind bar or Cliff Bar ever again. Cliff Bar. And then my mom had a Cliff Bar and had an allergic reaction on our trip, so gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, there's someplace called Beauty Spot. I think it's in Tennessee. Nobody really knows because it keeps rocking between North Carolina and Tennessee border. Towns down there. It's a pretty nice view from up here. You can see quite a bit. Mountains. Don't know which ones they are, but turned out to be a pretty nice trip up. But 2.5 more miles to final destination. Gotta go find some water. Well, where we were headed today at 13.4 miles, the tent sites were not what tent sites should be. They were extremely wet, which means they would have soaked through my tent. And if they weren't wet, they had 3 inches of snow sitting on the ground over them. So we are extending our hike today 2.2 miles to some place called Low Gap to see what's available there. And if all else fails, we will attempt to get to the shelter, which is another 1.1 miles away, which should get us to the shelter by 6 o'clock, if that's what we choose, which will give us plenty of light still to get our tent set up, get some food in us, and get laid down for the night. The good thing about this is that it will cut off 2.2 or 3.5 miles from our hike tomorrow and stuff. So we'll just have to see how things go. But this is how sometimes it works. You have to rearrange your plans, reschedule and stuff. And here we go, trying to figure it out. Got 1.5 miles to go yet. Well, made it the additional 2.2 miles to the Low Gap. There are a couple tent sites here. If we want to, one there, they're both in there. But the next shelter, which has water and supposedly plenty of tent sites and 6 places in the shelter for people to stay, is only a mile away, which is only, if we walked really slow, 45 minutes. So I don't know what we'll do. I'm waiting for my buddy to get here, Pilgrim, and we'll make a decision then. The beard looks kind of weird. Not happy, still not happy about the mustache, but we'll get it figured out. Beard looks good though. Well, made it the additional 2.2 miles to the Low Gap. There are a couple tent sites here. If we want to, one there, they're both in there. But the next shelter, which has water and supposedly plenty of tent sites and 6 places in the shelter for people to stay, is only a mile away, which is only, if we walked really slow, 45 minutes. So I don't know what we'll do. I'm waiting for my buddy to get here, Pilgrim, and we'll make a decision then. The beard looks kind of weird. Not happy, still not happy about the mustache, but we'll get it figured out. Beard looks good though. Well, good morning. It's morning of day 36. And once again, I forgot to close out my video. We did end up traveling 17.2 miles yesterday to get to where we needed to be, where there's decent campsites and stuff. We stopped at a place called Cherry Gap. Just a little shelter. Everybody's still sleeping, so I'm not going to show them. There's about 8 or 9 tent campsites, which made it better for us and that. But I need to get better at closing out videos from the day before. This morning's the morning of day 36. I think we're going to make it a short day since we did 17.2 miles yesterday. And that, and the weather was supposed to be nice through the morning of Thursday, but in the sky, it looks like it's getting ready to dump on us. Kind of hoping that it just kind of blows over and just holds, but we are hiking. And if there's no rain, then Mother Nature's isn't being good to us. But we're going to be starting here in a couple minutes. Start a day. Like I said, it's only going to be like a 10-mile day, more than likely. Unless the rain holds off. If the rain keeps coming, and we're done. So, let's see where we go. Weather's been iffy. I had to stop putting my rain gear on because it started pouring. And now it stopped, but came to this view quick. It has since stopped raining and stuff, but it's been all uphill, as most times when we leave shelter, all uphill and that. But the last 20-25 minutes has been a pretty nice morning. If it stays this way, I might shed my rain gear, but those look like rain clouds starting over there, so I don't know. Later. I'm 4 miles in, and this came to this clearing. Give a nice view of the mountains over there. It's been a continuous uphill fight this morning. Still going uphill. I got 2 more ascents, 2 more descents before I even get to the shelter. And I'm only 5 miles away from it. It's gonna be a long couple hours from all this climbing. I'm just exhausted from climbing. Guy I'm with thinks about moving on to the next spot 5 miles away from the shelter. I think I'm gonna be exhausted. Not to mention, I think I'm getting a cold if you listen to my voice. So, later. Good morning, day 37. We took a short day yesterday because today's going to become brutal. You start with a small 500-foot climb, and then the monster comes. We climb Rowan Mountain today, which is supposedly the last tall mountain. We got to get up to 6,200 feet today, which would be a 2,000 foot elevation gain from where we're currently at. So let's go. It's April 9th, day 37, and we are going to march forward and hopefully tackle this by 3 o'clock this afternoon and be at our next shelter, which is 13.4 miles away, the Stan Murray shelter. So here we go. A little over a mile in. As you can see, it's cloudy again. It is sprinkling, but got to this viewpoint at 4,900 feet. Not a bad view. Already panting like a dog, and I've only climbed 500 feet now, as North Carolina does and Tennessee seems like. Now they're going to drive me down 600 feet to a road to start my 2,000 foot climb to the top of Rowan Mountain, which is going to take all day. Later. Since it's kind of stopped raining a little bit, I'm going to try to hide my phone a little bit. The trail is this, a riverbed. The next 3/10 of a mile until I get to my shelter, and then I'm sure it'll continue. And on top of that, my chest strap on my backpack just broke. So I'm really not happy with Z-Pack products currently. So let's continue on to the shelter, which is about well, I'm done past Rowan Mountain shelter. I am at Carver's Gap, which evidently, if the weather's decent, I'm on top of Carver's Gap. It's pouring rain. Evidently, when you're up here at Carver's Gap after Rowan Mountain, you're supposed to be able to see all these magnificent things. But my weather, as has been for a lot of the big sites, Big Bald, Klingman's Dome, even here, if you look way over there, there's another sign saying what you're supposed to be able to see. But unfortunately for me, again, the weather sucks and I get to see nothing. And once again, sorry. Well, the weather is what the weather is. We've done stops. We pushed to Mountain Arbor Hostel, where we'll stay the rest of the day, get our laundry done the best we could, take a shower, all that stuff. But I'll show you part of what we're looking at. It's not bad at all, to be totally honest. Turn it back around since that's what I was showing you anyways. Creek runs right through it. Got a nice fire pit area. There's the main house. Tomorrow morning we get to go up there and eat breakfast at 8 o'clock. So, a whole ordeal evidently. I'll have to show you more later, but this is what inside currently looks like. Sleeping there. Pilgrim's there. Got an upper bunk room up there and stuff. But I'll show you more as soon as I get downstairs. Okay, while I move downstairs, this is what it looks like. They got a big old kitchen for everybody to eat at. Don't open until 4. Got the Hamburger Dude main house. Got this creek running through it. Nice for the guests to eat and stuff and get their stuff set up. Nice water fountain. Like I said, nice fire seating area. I understand a couple years ago this place flooded out really bad. It's kind of under new management now, and they're just kind of fixing things up. It's really nice. Set eating area, porta potty if you need to use it. The road's right there, but who cares? Lunch starts in about 4 o'clock, so everybody's going to be scarfing here in a little bit. It's only 2:30, but it's amazing. But, sorry I'm so close. But, I don't know. The trail the last couple days has been really, really annoying, I guess. The rain has done nothing to help change my mind of how much I hate rain or hate water. We really just pulled in here early because everything was getting wet from the last 2 days of rain. The trails. Let's see. We left Clyde Smith shelter and it started to rain, which wasn't bad. Issue being is the trail after that, going up to Rowan Mountain, wasn't too bad. I didn't stop at the shelter because there was no visibility anyways to look for anything. But I do have a problem with everything after that, especially once you hit Carver's Gap and then James Bald. Coming down from there, those frickin' trails, if that's what you want to call them, were pitiful. I don't know who does trail maintenance in them, but that's my personal opinion. They're horrible. And then we started up this morning, and it just started to rain again, which is why I've been videoing a lot. But the trails up to Little Hump and Big Hump, pitiful. Pitiful. They're trenches. They're not trails. They're trenches. that you can barely walk on. They're pitiful. They drive you up Little Hump, which is 5,200 feet, and then they drive you up Big Hump, which is 5,800 feet. To drive you back down into Mountain Arbor area. The trails are just pitiful, pitiful, pitiful. Whoever's in charge of them, they're not doing what they should be doing. But it's just, you go down, and when you don't have a trail to hike up, it makes it even harder to get up to them places. So we're going to rest here for the next couple days. I don't want to be a downer, but everybody makes all these trails sound wonderful. They're not. Now, if you hit those trails on a nice dry day, or if you plan on hiking Rowan, Carver's Gap, Jane Ball, the humps, I choose a couple of good days where there's no rain that has been falling for 15 hours, because those trails become nothing but mud slicks and you're sliding down them. Good way to get hurt. I know we take inherent risk as through hikers to begin with. There's no need to try to kill ourselves in the process. But that's it for now. See how the day ends.